Welcome back to Tartan Truths for our final episode in the Christmas series, Follow the Star. Over the last few episodes, we've seen the Magi come through an awful lot. They heard the call of God, responded to it, traveled across the literal world through years of trials, and finally found little Jesus and offered gifts to him. Now their story is about to come to a close, but not before offering one final lesson for us today. It's the darkest and hardest to accept, but one you need to hear, even if you don't want to. If you recall, in the second episode, we were introduced to a guy named King Herod. He felt threatened by Jesus' birth and lied to the Magi, saying he wanted to worship the baby when they found him. Now the Magi had no reason to distrust Herod, so when they found Jesus, they planned on going right back to Herod to tell him where he was. But Herod had evil plans, so God warned the Magi in a dream to not return to Herod, and instead to go a different route back to their own homes. It can be the same for you. When you begin to follow Christ, your life too will change direction. You may have to give up certain habits in your life. You may have to leave certain relationships you're in. But as we learned in episode 2, you're not simply giving up things for the sake of it. Instead, you're gaining the greatest blessing by following Christ. But once your life changes direction, your trials do not end. In fact, they may increase. The Magi had to go a different secret route, not because there was an accident on the way and the road was closed, but because Herod was out for blood. The Magi's very lives were in danger. Herod was so angry that he ordered, there's no putting it lightly. He ordered all the baby boys in Bethlehem to be murdered. It's one of the darkest moments in the whole Bible. Herod felt so threatened that he descended into madness, resulting in a horrific tragedy. But God knows the hearts of people and predicted this massacre would happen centuries earlier through one of his prophets. Many wonder why God would allow this horrific event to happen in the first place. They might think, why couldn't God just kill Herod or give him some debilitating disease so all these innocent babies could live? This plays into the age-old question of why does God allow bad things to happen? That's a topic for another day, but certainly worth mentioning here, however briefly. But a short answer I have for you is this. God gives everyone free will. Otherwise, we'd be like programmed robots, mindlessly following God, not because we want to, but because we're told to. Herod had the free will to follow God as the Magi did. Instead, Herod tried to destroy God's plan for his own selfish gain. But no matter what you do, God's will always prevail. Rejecting Christ only brings chaos. An angel warned Joseph to take Jesus away and hide. Jesus survived this massacre. He had to die a different way years later to fulfill his purpose. I'm not saying you're going to do something as horrible as Herod here, but I do want you to consider this. Do you obey God's will or try to fight against it? If only everyone followed God, there would be far less evil events like this in the world. Ponder that. Herod was angry because he thought the Magi tricked him, but God was still in control. The Magi too escaped Herod's wrath, having been warned in a dream to get out of town before it was too late. The Bible does not say what happened to the Magi after this, but they likely returned to their homes and spread the good news of who had been born and told this story for the rest of their lives. If you've enjoyed this series, share it with your friends and family, and consider subscribing. Let me know in the comments what series you'd like to see next. Merry Christmas to you all, and God bless you, everyone. The Magi too escaped God. The Magi too escaped Herod's wrath. What can I say this? If you've enjoyed this series, consider subscribing. Share it with others you think could learn.